is up, you guys? It has been a hot minute since I have been on this camera and filmed a video. Oh my goodness, guys, I tried filming a Halloween makeup tutorial and it just went completely south. It did not turn out good, but I tried, but I did not get any Halloween videos up this year, and I'm so sad about that, but it's always next year, I guess. But I am back today. I am here for this look. I am loving it. I'm actually really surprised with how this look turned out. I do not play with purples. I kind of dabbled into them a little bit when I had my purple hair because I'm like, ooh, purple hair, purple eyeshadow. I was purple. So I kind of played with them just a tiny bit, but I never really did much with them. Just, you know, a little bit of a shade in the crease and some shimmer and out the door. So I had found this palette. I was in Ulta and I was like, it is time. I have not gotten a new eyeshadow palette in a really long time, so I need to find me a good one and something that a little bit out of my comfort zone that I don't play with too often. So I do have all the Jaclyn Hill little Volt palettes, and she is a purple one, and I love it, but I wanted something just a little different, more purple. So I came across this Morphe one. It is the Morphe 9J, and their little palettes are awesome. I've always gotten their big ones. I've never gotten any of their small ones, so I'm actually really impressed with this. But you guys, these shades are beautiful. Like, they are so pigmented too. I mean, I know Morphe is, so I wasn't disappointed at all. Like, definitely met my expectations, and I'm here for this look. This is a perfect look, especially with going from the fall months into the winter, because it's still keeping those like warm, rich colors in it, I feel like, with like the gold shimmer and like the little bit of darker purple on the outer corner, but at the same time it's bringing in winter. Like, I'm feeling sugar plummy. I don't know why, but you know, that's what I'm feeling. So, but I had so much fun filming this look, and I loved how it turned out, and I hope if you guys get the chance to recreate it, if you have this palette at home or something similar to it, I hope you love it just as much. Alright guys, it is that time. As always, don't forget to subscribe down below to my channel if you want to watch more of my videos. And also, don't forget to hit the little post notification bell down below so that you get notified every time I do upload one. So, if you guys want to see how I achieved this purpley look, then just keep watching. Alright, you guys, starting off, I'm going to be priming my eyelids with this Morphe concealer, and I'm in the shade C1.55. And I like to use a concealer to set my eyelids because I feel like it really just helps my eyeshadow last throughout the day. Next, to set that concealer, I'm going to be using the Essence Brighten Up powder, and I am using the banana shade. So starting off in our Morphe 9J palette, I'm going to go in with the lighter purple shade, and I'm going to work this all in that transition area and crease, and I'm also going to kind of drag it onto that inner corner, just really making that shade stand out and be a focal point. Next, going in with the deeper purple shade in the palette, and I'm taking a more defined brush for this. I'm just really focusing it on that outer corner just to kind of define it and to deepen the look up a little bit. Next, going back in with this Morphe concealer, I'm going to put this from the inner corner to a little bit past the middle of my eye, just so we can put a shimmer shade on top of it and just really help it pop, and also just so we can put that outer corner shade back on and just make it look nice and deep and vibrant.
So for our shimmer shade, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal 24-Hour Infallible Eyeshadow, and this is in the shade 997 Eternal Sunshine. And this is truly just a beautiful pigmented gold shade. Alright, going back in with that lighter purple shade on the fluffy brush from earlier, I'm taking the tiniest bit and I'm just kind of blending everything together just so that there is no harsh lines, especially before we go back in and add that darker purple shade back onto our lids. Next, going back in with that deeper purple shade and on the same brush from earlier, I'm just going to put that back on that outer corner just to really help define that shade and to really define and make that outer corner pop. Next, going back in with that lighter purple shade and on that fluffy brush from earlier, I'm just going to define our crease a little bit more just so we don't lose that shade at all. Next, going in with my Essence Brighten Up powder, and this is my favorite thing to do on a dramatic look like this. I'm taking a little bit and just kind of going over those outer corners just to kind of soften it so it's not so harsh. Next, going in with my Wet n Wild Mega Liner, I went ahead and did a wing liner, but I did it off camera because I have to get really close to a mirror and I could not do it on camera. And then going in with my favorite mascara, I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, and I'm applying a small coat before we apply our lashes. And then for lashes today, I'm going to be using these Ardell Wispies, which are one of my favorites because they're somewhat natural, but they give me the right amount of flare and definition to my eyes, which I absolutely love. For primer, I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Rose Primer just to kind of set my whole face and give it a nice surge of moisture. I think that is a great dupe for the Smashbox Primer Water. It is one of my favorite drugstore ones. And then I am using this e.l.f. Putty Primer just to kind of help blur out my pores and just make everything smooth. I really do love this primer so much. So for foundation, I'm going to be using the Milani Conceal and Perfect, and I'm using the shade Creamy Nude. And I had tried this foundation a week before this video, and I ended up hating it. And I really wanted to try it because so many people were raving about it. But I decided to give it one more try, and I actually liked it for this video. I think I really just needed to set it, and it worked perfect. So I did really enjoy it for this video. And then for concealer, I am mixing my Tarte Shape Tape and my Morphe concealer together just because I love the two together and the coverage that they give me. And then I'm going to set underneath my eyes with my Essence Brighten Up powder, and this is in the banana shade. I absolutely love this for underneath my eyes. It just makes them look so bright and awake. And then to set our foundation, I'm going to be using the Coty Airspun Face Powder. For brows, I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil, and I am in the shade Neutral Brown. And then I love to use this to fill my brows in. It is a CoverGirl brow pomade. I'm assuming it doesn't really say on the packaging, but it is almost like a powdery pomade, and I just love how it makes my brows look to fill them in. Just because I have very thin and sparse brows, I just love how this makes them look. And then to finish it off, I'm using my Catrice eyebrow filler, and I am using the shade Brown. For contour, I'm going to be using my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm using the middle shade, which is just a very nice neutral brown. And then for bronzer, I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild Iconic Bronzer, and this is in the shade Ticket to Brazil. I saw this in Target the other day and thought it looked really nice and figured I would give it a try. For blush, I'm going to be using this Tarte one, and this is in the shade Partay. And I absolutely love this blush because it is a nice neutral pink without being too overpowering on your cheeks. And then just taking my stippling brush, I'm just going to blend our bronzer and blush together. For highlight, I'm going to be using this Pure Sculptor palette, and I'm using their light gold shade in it, and it is called Originator. And I absolutely love this highlight. It is honestly so bright and beaming. I'm just obsessed with it. So I'm applying that to my cheekbones and then underneath my brows. Next, going back in to our Morphe palette, taking the lighter purple shade, I'm going to take this on a flat definer brush and just press this into my lower lash line. And then taking our deeper purple shade in the palette on a pencil brush, I'm just going to kind of smoke out that lower lash line just so it's not so harsh. And then going back in with our L'Oreal mascara from earlier, I'm just going to apply a small coat to our bottom lashes. And then for lips, I'm going to be using this Morphe liquid lip, and this is in the shade Vanity. And I felt like it was perfect for this look because it has that neutral pink in it, but I love the purpley undertone that is in it just to really help go along with this look.
Alright you guys, so this is the finished look and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I don't normally play with purpley shades, but I'm feeling it for these cooler months. I absolutely, like I said, I loved how it turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I can't wait to film some more makeup tutorials for you guys, especially with holidays coming up, so stay tuned for those. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!